Taylor gang. Taylor gang. No, I'm playing. We're not starting off like that. But it's been a while since I've done videos like this, right? Where I'm just analyzing an Instagram model, a journalist, a female comedian, whoever they may be, and we use that person as a case study. Um, yeah, we just use it as a case study. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, but bear with me for a little bit. Now, for the people that might not know, this is Taylor Rooks, right? You know, the female sports journalist that every dude is kind of thirsty over, that they're willing to do anything over, right? We gotta check her Instagram real quick. Y'all know her, right? We'll just give her a little bit of a preview. Y'all seen her. Y'all have seen her, right? So lately I did a video covering Joy Taylor, right? Her partner in crime, right? And since they do a podcast together, I think it was fitting that I finally give Taylor Rooks the smoke that she deserves, because I've been giving her a pass for a while. I'm not even gonna lie, I've been giving her a pass. But I got triggered because when I did a video where I said a lot of these so-called female journalists, they're not real journalists, right? And that's including Joy Taylor, Taylor Rooks, right, etc. But I said it in passing, and some lady with a YouTube channel took that quote and somehow twisted it, and she goes on her page and says, "Oh, this man said." I'm not gonna say the channel's name, but this man said that beautiful women can't be journalists. And I was like, when did I even say that? I just said hoes like Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks. No disrespect. They're not journalists. First of all, there's a lot of people, men or women, I don't consider real journalists. But I digress. But I've said that even on this channel. But she took that and said, I don't think beautiful women can't be journalists. I was like, wow. So I'm like, you know what? We gonna take the gloves off. We gonna take the gloves off. So the reason why I bring up Taylor Rooks, though, is I have a belief. Holes of a feather flock together, right? That's been my belief, right? Joy Taylor got accused of what she got accused of. Now, that's her homegirl. That's her running mate. Remember when R. Kelly got accused of what he got accused of, everybody started looking at, oh, you did music with him, you was on the same time. If you was doing studio work, so we must apply the same we must apply the same energy to a Taylor Rooks. Even though every ninja loves her, right? And they would be willing to do anything for her. But we'll just use her as a case study of kind of what's going on overall in the dating market. Most of these female sideline reporters, these so-called female journalists, they're not really there for journalism purposes. They're looking to catch an athlete. That's their strategy. When you see women in college signing up to be journalists or signing up to be sport reporters, basically sideline sport reporters, or they decide to dive in that industry for a little bit, they're trying to catch an athlete. That's what they're trying to do. Which, in my opinion, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but that's just what they're doing, right? This is why I don't really consider a person like a Taylor Rooks a journalist, because I know what she's doing. Now, unfortunately, she's going to end up catching herself up, and this is why I say this. Taylor Rooks, to her credit, is not a man-hating type woman. Now, that's the reason why it's particularly a black man hating type, journalist type, black woman, right? So that's why I've been giving her a pass, really, because I've actually been studying her, watching her moves, watching what she's, and I look at the report, I'm like, oh, she's not doing that Malika Andrews type, ish. She ain't doing, you know what I mean? This the other black lady on ESPN, I forgot what her name is, but anyways, she's not doing that stuff. But the only reason why she's not doing that stuff now is because men are just doing anything and everything for her because she is in her prime, beauty-wise. So Right now, she's experiencing all the good stuff from what men of power or at male athletes, you know what I mean? What they're willing to do for her. So in her world right now, she's like, she's winning. She ain't seeing no negative, she's not really seeing the negative side of men, particularly black men, right? Um, she doesn't even know what that is. And then even though she is 32 years old, let me show you something real quick, right? So these are her measurements, right? 32 years old, she's 5'9", right? So she's actually tall for a girl, right? Well, she's on the taller side, I'll say, for a girl, right? Um, but this is where this is all kind of, I'm mentioning her measurements and all this stuff to bring up a bigger point. Right now, she's not chasing any regular athlete like the other sideline reporters that you'll see, right? She's not. She's not. Let me show you, my bad. I'll even show you the measurements. But right here, these are her measurements. She's 32 years old. She's 5'9". Now, like I said, you can kind of disregard the age because remember you're dealing with a melanated woman. So, but even though that's going to be used against her later on, so she doesn't age like it's not like a white woman where basically their prime is literally 10 years earlier, right? There's certain black women, if they take care of themselves, if they do things the right way, they can have a prime in their early 30s, a beauty prime in their early 30s, right? You look at even Felicia Rashad, who was considered one of the prettiest women, still is, right? Considered one of the prettiest women, one of the more looked up to women in terms of beauty standards, especially in terms of classy beauty standards. She was in like her 30s, in her 40s, and she was considered the beauty standard, right? So disregard the age. This is what's going to happen, unfortunately, to Taylor Rooks. When it comes to particularly Caucasians that enter that field of sideline reporting, so-called sports journalism, and they're trying to catch their sports star, they know they have a limited time clock. They know they have a limited time clock. Or if an IG model, if a Caucasian IG model starts getting offers or interest because her IG play page is blowing up via Instagram and she's starting to get inquiries from ninjas, they understand, look, my time is limited. I need to catch one of these dudes. I can't be on some, oh, let me wait for this guy. Anyone will do, right? That's their mentality. I know there's a lot. I've seen a lot of IG models, particularly Caucasian IG models, come up on ninjas, man. Their page starts getting interests, right? Out of nowhere, their IG page just starts blowing up because they have curves, and then all of a sudden, I see them literally 2 years later married to an NFL player. You're like, how? She literally came from nothing. This one, let me see if can I bring up this bitch page? Because I remember her. I think I remember her page. Listen, Mindy Sitting Pretty. That I would have sworn that was her name. Nah, never mind. But I remember one specific one. Her like there's just one girl that basically got viral with a picture that she took of Planet Fitness, but because she was wearing some type of yoga pants, which made her curves look crazy, right? Because she was wearing some kind of gym cat suit at Planet Fitness, and she just blew up off of that one picture. And then I remember like just disregarding her IG page, whatever. And then literally 2 years later, I see her married to like one of the defensive ends on the 49ers. I was like, I think it was DeForest Buckner, if I'm not mistaken. It was him or one of the. I was like, how? I was in awe. I was just because I knew where her I'm talking about her beginnings, because you'll see all types of bitches on your exploit. But anyways, I digress. You'll have girls. Let me give you another example. Right, we got a Rachel Demita. Right, let me bring up a singular picture of Rachel Demita. Remember when Rachel Demita started going viral, for her looks, and people might say, "Oh, damn, she looking rough right now," but she was in her mid-20s or mid or late 20s when she started going viral for her looks, and she got viral via 2K. Technically, really, that's kind of where her popularity kind of came from. But she started getting looks from ninjas and people from the NBA, and she was like, "Look, any NBA player will do." So she ended up with Andre Roberson, right? So she wasn't even like trying to be like, "Oh, I need to wait for the top, NBA player." She was like, "Oh, hey, Roberson's interested. He's a role player. Even though he's a role player, he makes role players in the NBA still make boatloads of money over starters in the NFL, right?" So she's like, "Okay, I'll take him," right? This is where Taylor Rooks is going to run into problems. Taylor Rooks is not looking for a role player. Right? So you see how we're praising her for like not crapping on men, not making negative articles about men, but this is the problem. She's looking for a superstar because ninjas have gassed their head up, the people on IG have gassed their head up. She's trying to get chosen from a sports superstar. Like Andre Roberson type person is not going to do it for her, right? And remember the IG model that was going out with Tyler Hero? Like that's not going to, no, she's not looking for that. She wants a superstar, a Jaden Daniels type, right? Like even that might not even be enough for her. Even I seen her do an interview with Derrick Henry. She's not looking for that. She's looking for the top of the top. So she wants a superstar. Now, unfortunately for Taylor, this is what's going to happen to her because we already know how this story is going to end. And I'm sorry that I had to kind of use her as a example, but this is unfortunately what's going to happen to her. The older she gets, because she's a little bit disillusioned because even though she's in her early 30s, she still looks better than most. But at the end of the day, age does matter. And by the time she's willing to settle for an Andre Roberson type after being passed around by the top dudes, after being passed around by the top dudes, and realizing that she can't get the top dudes, even though she could just take advantage of her position and just get a regular NBA ninja and he'll do literally everything for her. She's gonna want to settle for a regular NBA ninja or quote unquote settle for a role player, a regular player, and they're gonna be just passing her around. Then she's gonna realize they're not taking me seriously. Then she's gonna be like, okay, maybe I'll go out with this MLS soccer player or an NHL player, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, we'll date, but nothing more than that. She's not gonna get chosen, and that is where her hatred for men will grow. So she's gonna be, I'm telling you, it's gonna be like 5 to 10 years later. I'll say 5 years. 5 years from now, she's gonna hit her 40s or her late 30s, and she's gonna realize, holy crap, like no man wants to really take me seriously. So what Taylor Rooks is supposed to do now, she should have been gotten chosen. She should have been. I'm talking about she should have been gotten chosen. Been like she should be already going out with somebody right now, but she's quote unquote in her mind she has options. All these men are just treating her well off of GP. So so she's disillusioned in her mind. So she in her mind this treatment is going to last forever. You know what I mean? But she should have been gotten chosen. Like I'm talking about been gotten chosen. But she wants to just bask in the glory in the free attention that Ninjas is giving her. Because really, for a female journalist, she's like, if I were to rate her on a scale from 1 through 10, I would rate her a strong 6. But glammed up, she looks like she's an 8 out of 10. If you ask most dudes, they would say, oh, she an 8 out of 10, right? But that's her glammed up, right? And the reason why they would give her 8 out of 10, you have to understand this, is because she has curves, right? So I'm giving you this picture right here. Let me see if I can give you a closer one. So right here. So not only does she have face, but she also has curves. I'm talking about on both ends. So most dudes are going to give her an 8 out of 10. Most dudes are going to give her an 8 out of 10. So we already know if a woman is an 8 out of 10, she thinks she's a 10 out of 10. Right? Because we already have hoes that is 3 out of 10 calling themselves 10 when they know they're not. So you already know she's an 8 out of 10. She's going to be like, close enough. Right? So unfortunately, later down the line, because we're seeing it from Claudia Jordan. I don't know if you've noticed that, but remember when Claudia Jordan was like, I used to be like, I must protect black men, but I don't care anymore. F them. You know? I remember covering her story, but Taylor Rooks is going to enter that territory very soon. She needs to pick somebody now while the iron is hot. But she's looking right now. She's not even looking. I don't even think she's looking for the young NBA superstars. She wants one of the top NBA players that are in their 30s, that are in their late 30s. Like that's around her age, right? That's what she wants. In her mind, she can get a LeBron caliber. In her mind, she believes she can be chosen by a LeBron caliber. I'm not saying by LeBron himself. I'm just talking about around that superstar energy. So a Kevin Durant, right? Give me a name. somewhere around Steph Curry, right? Somewhere around their level, right? And that means also in the NFL side, an NFL QB. On the MLB side, is either Shohei Ohtani or bust. It's either Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, or bust for her, right? She's looking for the top. Because you see how look how Lori Harvey is moving. She had Memphis Depay. She was going out with Memphis Depay. She was going out with literally most of the top, and she's just still, I'm not settling. Michael B. Jordan, Future. And it still wasn't. Now we already know because once those trips start to dwindle down, she stops getting those messages. She stops getting those thirsty DMs. When the top male celebrities ain't touching her no more, then oh my God, where are the real men at? All these men just want younger women, you know. So in the future, do not be shocked. The heel turn from Taylor Rooks is coming. Don't worry, because it's already happening with it's been happening with Claudia Jordan, and men used to like her, and men used to think that she was cool and it was on their side and whatnot. But once they stop getting what they want, and the older they start getting, that's when that nastiness starts coming out. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna label this show the Taylor Rooks theory, right, or something similar to that. I should have been gotten on Taylor Rooks, but I've been giving her a pass. But it's time for me to start taking off the gloves. I can't. I got to stop giving people passes when it comes to these things. And okay, so please let me know what you think of this video. Are you a fan of Taylor Rooks? Are you not? Please let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.